Good afternoon. Thank you for coming out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon to spend some time with us as we get into the intermediate level of social media for Good Health Wins Project, sponsored by the National Council of Negro Women, 633 Pennsylvania Avenue, the only black building owned on Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and the Capitol building. We try to run things. And of course, this is a part of the Good Health Wins Project with the CDC, Center for Disease Control. I actually had to look that up. Uh, but I am Kevin Johannes, Director of Communications, and I am happy to be here today. And I will pass the introductions to my colleague, Ms. Walker.
Hi, my name is Jade Walker. I'm the Data Evaluation Specialist for NCNW. I was hired last year, but if any one of you have been working with Good Health Wins on some respect, you definitely have seen my face. Welcome to the intermediate. We're happy to show you some cool stuff on Facebook, and hopefully you have a takeaway that you didn't know before. I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Goldford.
Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney Guilford. I am the Communications Media Manager. I am newly minted. This is my first week. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, repping Howard University today, and extremely happy to be here. I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Johannes.
Great and fantastic. I'm sure Ms. Moss is listening, and Ms. Mathis is probably doing the same. But we're going to go ahead and get started as I bring up this PowerPoint. And let's see here. There we go. Again, intermediate workshop, here we are. And I am going to go directly into, you all already know somewhat about social media, so let me break down some platforms for you. We're going to stay on the slide for a little bit because you can see from here that social media is ever growing and ever changing. And we've even added TikTok because that is the latest out. I will tell you that every 3 to 6 months, some new social media app comes out. There was the Cookout. We're on Fanbase. There is the Clubhouse. So different styles. Some take and some don't. And those that don't often fade away, but these are the tried and true. As you look to see, all of these have several million users. You can see the demographics and age. You can see what their purpose is, and you can see what was best for doing and the downside. Now, I will tell you, you don't have to worry about taking notes because by the end of this, we will put this in the handouts so you will have a copy, as well as the video, the handout, and everything that we're doing now will be in the Good Health Wins website in the COM toolkit. So you'll be able to access it once you're done. If you have any questions, at the end of this, we'll also have our information. So please feel free to reach out to each and every one of us. What we're going to focus on today is two things. One is data collection, God bless you, and also aggregation. Both of those work hand in hand. You can use one to get the other, and the other one is how you decide and get ideas on what to do next. So let's talk a little bit about data collection. What is social media data collection? I am not the expert, so at this time is when we're going to shift gears and turn it over to Ms. Walker and let her run with it for a little while. And I can give you the presentation to take over now.
Thank you, Mr. Johannes. All right, good people. Welcome to the intermediate. As stated, you should be looking at a Google regular, search engine. So I really want to just start in the basics or start in the beginning, kind of about how to post social media on Facebook. As Mr. Johannes said, in this example, we're going to focus on Facebook because it's one of the big main distributors in terms of having the most users. People use it for business, campaigns. Also, as you know or you don't know, Facebook is bought Instagram, so it also has that perk of simultaneously posting things on Facebook as well as Instagram. So we're going to use that as our example. First things first, though, what I want to take you to is the goodhealthwins.org page, because as Mr. Johannes said, everything's stored in the communication kit. So all the little bits and pieces that I'm going to be going here or using in my examples will really be coming from this website. One thing I did want to show you is the project manager directory. For any individual who's new, whether you're a new section member, new chapter member, or a new just in general to the project, these are your respective individuals you can reach out to partner, but also to get some guidance on how to report, what day am I reporting, those kind of things. You have NCNW first listed, the affiliates that we have, so the National Black Nurse Association, TLOD, LEGEMS, and then of course our Divine Nine. So I just wanted to show you that. And again, that's under the About Us and Project Manager directory. In terms of this media and socials and flyers and tablecloths, banners, all those wonderful things, you're going to go to the Information tab and you're going to select Media. You're going to get this wonderful landing page, and what you're going to see is the Vaccine Primer Toolkit. That's just a general overview of some do's and don'ts in terms of the logo, but as well as some facts about vaccines, how to determine reliable resources. So definitely peruse through that, but most of the information in terms of tangibles used for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are going to be under the Communication Brand Guide. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So as you see, you're open, you should be seeing a Google Drive essentially with a bunch of different folders. What we've tried to do here is all the current campaigns that we're running in 2022 or current ads or flyers, we have picked out here. You can click in to another folder that says Flyers, Media, Social Storms, and this will have what past year's campaigns were, as well as what the previous campaigns, like we had one early in February, are stored. So just kind of get you a sense of the general flow. What we're going to do is we're going to go take a flyer so I can show you how to post on Facebook. As most of you probably know how to do that, what we want to make sure, what we want to make sure is that you know how to add a person, include a contributor to a post, or maybe you want to determine how to put your location in a particular post. So we're going to show you how to do that. I wanted to pick off the campaign we just had, Get the Facts, Boost the Truth. That was a campaign we launched, I would say in the summer, but I could be incorrect, of this year. And these are some wonderful ads that Mr. Johannes' team has created. In particular, we can go to the Facebook post. These are specifically created for Facebook, but he has also other wonderful flyers that we can put out in the email blast, digital flyers, or print out and hand out at a booth. So what I'm going to do, of course, is, oh, I didn't mean to click out of that. Download one of these lovely flyers. Let's download that. We're going to use that and post that on Facebook. And I wanted to show you also, back up here, where the hashtags are kept. The hashtags, this is where we keep all the current hashtags as, of course, somewhat of a list that we want you to use. But it is very important, I'm just going to harp on this a little bit, to use the hashtags in your posts. As you know, it helps us determine who's posting and where you're posting and what you're saying when you include any one of these hashtags. My favorite, if you're asking my opinion, is the Good Health Wins or the GHW Wins, but we track data based on all the listed hashtags there. So we'll, of course, be including that in our post in this example. And one thing I did, well, I'll show you when we do the post. So let's just begin with the post then. This is just on my regular Facebook page. Again, you might be posting from your chapter page or your section page. Please, make sure that you've agreed upon what you're going to post, that, if you have a communications person that you run things through in terms of talking points, verifying facts from the CDC, make sure you go through that process or you reach out to us. My email will be at the end of the slide just to verify if you're uncertain about what to post. So very simply, you can post through any of these at the bottom. Live video, of course, is if you click that option, I won't do it here, you'll be instantaneously prompted to prepare for live video, and you'll begin to essentially video yourself talking about any particular material that you like. Again, if you like to do this, I would have some type of script. just so you're on point about what you're speaking about in terms of vaccine awareness or barriers to healthcare, because you want to make sure what you say is actually being conveyed through that video. For this purpose, we're just going to use the photos though. So of course, I'm going to upload the photo. I believe it's this one. Actually, no, it's going to be the digital flyer. I apologize. Okay, the beautiful Dr. Jackie over here giving us a COVID fact about infertility right there. That's wonderful. As you know, please put something in the subject matter. Please put a blurb, something to drive the audience to read your post. Mr. John Hanna said in the last session, if it isn't interesting to you, it's probably not going to be interesting to the audience. I cannot say that any better. So definitely try to engage people. What I did in the last post, and I think this is pretty decent, please check out other health events and activities, local or nationally, on Good Health. Actually, let me go get the link. So what we have here under the events tab, what I'm going to do in my post is I'm going to uplift the Good Health Wins calendar, which has a bunch of different events that subrecipients on the Good Health Wins submit to us. So, you know, if I'm in Maryland, which I am, I can see the Chesterfield area and their particular activity. So I'm going to highlight this URL. As you know, it's the search bar up here. I'm going to copy that and put that in my post on, bam, there. I'm also going to show you how to add a contributor. So what I like to do is just use the @ signs, pretty simple. And I throw a shout out to NCNW headquarters. And because this is my personal page, we also have the Good Health Wins, the Good Health Wins page right here. Wonderful. But you can see that I was able to add anybody. So, but you just have to know their handles. So sometimes their handles don't pick up based on what they've listed it in their Facebook. So sometimes you have to actually go to their page and check it out. But Good Health Wins is pretty simple, and NCNW headquarters even simpler. Also, my location. You can do that feature simply through here. I'm going to just put Washington, D.C. for lack of better words. And that's just simple. There's other features where you add a plus symbol or an @ sign to also determine your location, but either feature is totally fine. And the last important thing are the hashtags. Now, I'm going to copy these here, but they're going to copy over a few of the boxes and a few other extra items I'm going to delete. But this is essentially what we're asking individuals who are participating in Good Health Wins to do. We want you to post something on social media that's reliable or from the CDC or something that you got from NCNW. Make sure it has your chapter, your section logo posted somewhere, and some Good Health Wins logo as well posted. I'm just gonna kind of keep it simple, just do those. And make sure whatever image you do decide to go with, that it's something creative, something that you think is going to drive audience attention, because that's really the point of posting this. So I'm just going to simply hit post. It's thinking a bit, and it should be the first post that I have right here. Bam, see my location, it's because I didn't separate the and symbol, but that should be both highlighted. Vaccine, you see the hyperlink to the events, and then these are my contributors, of course. So it's really that simple in terms of posting. The next level, or the next really phase after you post, that's just one step. Of course, we want you to report your data in terms of the total reach. Now, to do this, it looks like this on a personal page, but again, when you have a chapter or section page, it could be a little different. So please reach out if you still can't locate your Meta Business Suite, which is where the analytics or the total reach will be located. So don't hesitate to reach out about that. So first things first, we're going to go, you'll see the home right here, and you'll see that you're in the Meta Business Suite. Again, I'm assuming that you know that Meta is the new name adopted by Facebook. This is where you would go to look at your total reach, which should be reported on a monthly basis to your project manager, who I showed on the Good Health Wins project manager directory, and who you would also maybe report to your data point of contact. So simply, you would adjust the dates as you see here, July 1st to July 31st. You'd hit update, and that would provide you the total reach for the month. And that's the number I would like, the specific number. Depending on your chapter reporting or section reporting method, you'll either type that on your online form, or you'll write that and you'll scan it and send it to that point of contact. If you have Instagram, we would also love that number. Again, Facebook and Instagram post simultaneously. If you need help getting your chapter, section, or personal page to do that, reach out to me. I'll walk you through how to really to join the two, because it'll be something that we'll have to Zoom and kind of talk through. One other little step I would like to show you is how to really see individual posts and their individual metrics. Since this is intermediate, give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I gotta move this far into my way. Go to scroll down, and you're gonna go to overview. Oh, excuse me, content. And you're gonna see, again, we're still in the same date range, July 1st through July 1st through 31st. And you'll see all the posts listed for that month, along with the reach, the likes, the reactions, sticker taps, replies. That's if some of these items are if you paid for your ads, you know, and that's another world in its own self. Link clicks and some other interesting items. But this is that total reach number that you're receiving. So you can see which specific post got certain traffic. Now you can export this data simply through here. I wanted to show you that as well. And it'll pop up and it'll list all these columns across for you with the respective name of the post. So that's a important piece we want to see at the when you report on a monthly basis to your project manager. That's where I'm going to stop right here for right now. I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Mr. Johannes and let him open it for questions, or if he has to overview one other item. We can't hear you, Mr. Johannes.
Thank you. I did it again. There we go. So let's talk about a little more about social media data. And basically, the easiest way to put it is, when you're starting a project, you're guessing. Or you have a theory of who's seeing what, when they're seeing it, X, Y, and Z. When you start to do the data collection, and sometimes people call it data mining, because that's what it is. You're looking at stuff. There's certain things that you need to ask yourself that helps you to do that. Like, who's the demographic profile looking at your social media? What time of day is best for you to post? Because once you start putting things out there, you'll see, are your constituents or the people following you on this program looking at 6 o'clock in the evening or 6 o'clock in the morning? So if it's 6 o'clock in the evening, you want to set up your aggregator so it can go out at 5:45 and be fresh on top of their, you know, the first thing they see, or the first email, what have you. There again, hashtags. What hashtags? You know, there's 6, 7, 8 hashtags, and the reason is because you want to use the ones that your audience most likely will engage. For example, if you're a chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, you want to put Good Health Wins, hashtag Good Health Wins or hashtag GH Wins, but you also want to put hashtag Kappa Alpha Psi. So then your audience just got broader, and now you're introducing what you're doing Good Health Wins to your Kappa family. Again, what does your audience prefer? Are you getting a lot of hits on images? Are you getting a lot of hits on text? Are you getting a lot of hits on video posts? What kind of content works for this particular project or this particular audience that you're trying to do? So there's a lot of stuff like that to do. And then also, when you're looking at the data, you can decide or make decisions on boosting it, and that means getting some paid. When you use Facebook, when you use Instagram, the algorithms have changed more than 100 times. And what happens is they change it so it only skews in and out, back and forth to a certain demographic area. be it geographic location, but you can go in and say, I want to use $30 to make it go specifically to women in the ages of 35 to 45 on the East Coast. There's more specifics in there, and as you go through the Meta Suite, you'll see some of that stuff. We weren't going to bore you with it, but at the same time, there are videos for it that we can give you access to. And Facebook, now that it owns Instagram, they have a whole educational component, and they do workshops year-round on that specific stuff because they want you to use it. Same thing with TikTok. There are certain things that are happening now that it's being less controversial, shall we say, and people are using it more. And so it's all about your target audience. As we go back to the first slide, let me move my mouse.
Mr. Johannes, can you reshare your screen? Right now it's white.
It is? Oh, sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you. With your choose your platform slide now.
Okay, good. So as we talk about that, again, this is why the demographics are important, the purpose, what's best, because what happens is it helps you to get the best bang for your buck when you start looking for to boost with money. So there's a way of budgeting that you want to look at this when you're doing this as well. And then we're going to talk about social media aggregators, what an aggregator is, how it works, and why it's useful. For the first 2 years in NCAW, I was an army of one. First year was pretty tough. I did not have an aggregator. Second year became a little better. Now, what an aggregator does, it helps you to A, collect all this information, but B, it also allows you to set up the information to go out. I don't know if you're aware, we do I call them the 60, for Black History Month and Women's History Month. Every morning, we highlight a Black woman that has risen in rank, has doing something in the field, with the entrepreneurs, whether in science. They all fall under our four foci. Well, that's 58 women in 2 months, and it comes out 8 o'clock every morning. There's no way I'm actually hitting a button at 8 o'clock every morning. So with the aggregator, I'm able to go ahead and put these in early, and they come out. So what I'm going to do now is switch from this aggregate. I'm going to stop this and move over to the actual Firefox website. So now you should see my web page, and I am going to go into our Hootsuite to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. And Hootsuite has different levels and layers. I'm a single source, single user, but there's multiple users for teams and whatnot, and they always give you, keeping you up to date what's going on. But as I said before, there's all the streams that we're following, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, and we're able to follow what's coming in and what's going on, as well as we can plan. So when I look at this, I can see where we're mentioned on our Twitter feed. I can see when the last couple of days that things have happened on our Instagram feed, but also I can publish or prepare to publish. And let me just do this on a month view and go back. So like this month here, you'll see all these different things, 16, 15, 37 published, 19 published. That is literally all of these things going to all the different accounts, be it Twitter, be it Facebook, be it LinkedIn. So it was easier to deal with and get everybody's, I came in and listed those all at once. And even though I've listed it, say I listed it all on Sunday, and this is all for Friday. If on Tuesday there's something that's different, I can change this. I can go back and alter it because there's more information. I can move it to a different day because there's an overlap, because I can see what all my accounts are doing, or I can actually create something on the fly. Creating a post, simply just choosing whichever one of the accounts or a combination of the accounts I want to use, and then Same thing, almost like using Facebook. I'll put in the text, I'll bring in a picture, I can use all the ampersands. Let's see. All of a sudden, Denzel Washington won't come up today. He's just like, but you'll see you can do anything like that. You can add all your hashtags all at one time. And then save it to post now. You can schedule it for later. And that will give you the idea of using that as an aggregator. And hopefully I've switched. And there's many different aggregators out there. Like I said, what you just saw was Hootsuite. But, these aggregators are different. And I would say that if you're going to use an aggregator, find one that works for you or works for your team. There are many different ones, as you can see. We use Hootsuite. Honestly, it's because it's the one I was most familiar with. I've used Social Baker. I've used a couple others, but there's different ones that come out, and they are web-based. So they will work on your iPad, on your Surface. You can do this from your phone as well. And like Ms. Walker said, as I said before, be creative. If it doesn't capture your attention, it's not going to capture theirs. So at that time, if it's something that's not working for you, or slightly off, or the color scheme is wrong, or just like I said, it doesn't just capture your attention, it's not going to get theirs. And we want to be authentic. We want you to be able to get some feedback. So at this point, I'm going to open it up for questions. Let's see what we got here. Good afternoon, Bobby. Good afternoon, Ron. Is there a return on investment only to? Is the return on investment only increase awareness? Can you rely or measure on responses to commit to action showing up in events? How can you connect, track audience hits to do something? Let me read this again because it was a lot. Is there a return on investment only to increase awareness? Can you rely or measure on responses to commit to actions? Showing up at events. Well, okay, so I understand the return on investment. If you are putting things out, part of what social media does is there's an ask, a call to action or a button to like, share, buy a ticket, pass on an event. If somebody takes your social media piece and passes it on, you will see that in mentions. If somebody goes to your link and clicks it to go buy a ticket, you will see that in there. So then you can say, all right, so we put it on Facebook and it was clicked 462 times. And they went to the Eventbrite for our event. And now we have 312 people that have signed up for the event. So now you have a basis to say, well, we're more than 60%, which is good, of people who click on it from Facebook or Instagram actually sign up for a ticket. So you can measure this in real terms. Ms. Walker, anything you want to add to that?
That's exactly what I would done. We do that honestly when we have these communication, not to tattle on anybody, communication sessions. I go back and see who's actually NCNW member. I check out your section page the month before you had this training, and I check to see if your frequency is increased the next month, or if you at least got into a better habit of including hashtags, contributors, since we're on the intermediate group. And basically, I think it's called an A/B type test. And you're just checking before the behavior was modified and then after the behavior, or before you pay for post, after you pay for post. And like Mr. Johanna said, it's helpful, but if your ad is not captivating or made in such a way it's targeting that specific audience, you can miss what you're paying for. So that's why design matters. Hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah, and again, design matters, but the biggest thing is, and I've seen this a lot of times, don't put the ask in the small letters on the bottom.
Mm.
We're having an event Tuesday. Click here. So think about that when you're balancing it out. What the purpose of this is to make a person on the other end do something. If your ask doesn't have them do something, whether it's like, share, log on, donate, come to, then you need to rethink what you're designing and what the strategy is. That's why I went back to those things about the data collections. Who's your audience? What different social media tool, what their ask is and whatnot. And by the way, the PowerPoint that we just used is already in the handout, so you can download it as a PDF. So stop taking notes. But also it will be on Good Health Wins in the comm kit. Once we get the video up, they'll be together. So you go back to this. But again, it still comes down to simple human authenticity, asking a question, and then getting somebody to do some type of action, be it cerebral or physical. It still comes down to that. If you're not thinking about that part when you're designing, you might have missed the boat. Any more questions?
Well said.
If you have a question, it's time to put it in the chat. I'd love to give you back, 30 minutes of your Saturday if you do not. So I'll wait a few minutes, and if I don't see any questions, we will end at 3:40. How about that? It's 3:37 now.
I'll put a bit in for Good Health Wins stuff. I'll say this, if you're trying to think of things to post, if you're posting towards young people, you gotta put something that's gonna draw their attention, something funny, maybe catchy, but again, we're talking about health information here. So you gotta keep it within that line. Some of the individuals, the ways we try to do that is we select influential messengers, AKA trusted messengers. People, they respect and respond to in their communities, whatever that community may be, and have them share some information. Or we videotape some survivors of COVID and have them discuss how that's impacted them being the caregiver, being a woman, maybe raising a child. So just different ways to get into that. And Mr. Johanna said, videos. Let me tell you, the world is left pictures behind us. I'm sad as well. Videos is the new thing. I don't have a TikTok because just to show you guys how anti I am, but videos is the new wave. So if you really want to get people engaged, it really should start with the thought of a video.
Yes.
I won't draw more. Please, Mr. Johnson.
If they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, well, that means a video's worth 1,000 pictures. So you can definitely see how that will work in your favor. Somebody had their hand up. I don't see it up. Miss Haynes, do you have oh, no, not Miss Haynes. Chauncey Haynes, do you have a question? I'm actually opening your mic. This is the first time we're doing this. So Chauncey Haynes, if you would unmute yourself, you can actually ask the question.
I'm sorry, I do not have a question.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see. What should a posting look like is the question. Well, that all depends because Instagram is a square. Facebook, you can put a full flyer. Twitter, you can only use 240 characters, I'm sorry. And that even includes the link. That's why we tell people to use tiny URLs. So it changes back and forth. And there's some examples in the kit. We've actually done some, and I've been working with Kappa Alpha Psi's executive director, Brother Burrell, for Boost the Truth, and they have some very good examples. So I would say definitely lean on your headquarters because they're on the right track. And also our information, it was up. I guess I took it down too fast. But you can email us at any time. We will answer any questions. Give us a call. I am T. Johannes at ncnw.org. Jade Walker is jwalker at ncnw.org. We're here to help you. Dr. Ruffin Alexander, you can contact me directly after, and I will answer any question you have directly. Ms. Moss, I'm going to try to open up your mic. You are unmuted. Ms. Moss, if you hit your unmute button on your end, we should be able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending today's social media 202 workshop for intermediate. Special thank you to you, Mr. Johannes, to Jade, our data evaluation specialist, and a special welcome to our new sister, Whitney Guilford. Just a couple of things that we wanted to share with you all, and welcome to you all who've joined us this afternoon. Wanted to let you know that we actually have a ongoing external communications or comms team meeting, which is held on the second Tuesday of every month. If you have registered for today, we can automatically include you on the listserv so that you will get those ongoing invitations, so that as we continue to update the information for Good Health Wins, you'll receive that in an ongoing fashion. Just wanted to say that as trusted messengers, we want to make sure that the information that we give regarding COVID, flu, routine vaccines, as you all know, the information changes so rapidly. So please make sure that you're continually utilizing the resources of goodhealthwins.org, the CDC website.org, or contact Mr. Johannes if you would like updated information, because one of the things we try to do is to make sure that the things that we're sending you all are copy ready, which means that most times all you have to do is add your logo or your chapter or section information and it's ready to go. So lastly, just wanted to say thank you in advance. Again, these workshops are intended to help you to make sure that you're not under-reporting on your monthly reports to your project managers. So just remember that when we say report your reach, it includes your emails, flyers, media, TV, radio, newspaper, and of course, social media. So make sure you be holistic in all the things that you're doing. Again, thank you for your time on this Saturday afternoon. We really, really greatly appreciate you all for being a part of this wonderful network to not just share good information, but to hopefully save lives. Have a happy Saturday.
And just before we log off, there's one thing I want to show. On your screen right now, you should see the collaboration between Kappa Alpha Psi, Good Health Wins, and NCNW. And as I said, the flyer is in a certain size because where we're going to put this particular one, and we follow the lead and work with our partners the same way. So you'll see this in Kappa Alpha Psi, and then you'll see it in Good Health Wins. So that way you know that we're operating it the same way. As well as there is a form. If you are having an event, you can fill out the form to make sure it's on the Good Health Wins calendar as well, because we want all those forms there at any given time. I mean, all those events. And with that, if there's no other questions, I'm going to say thank you and have a good Saturday afternoon.
Ethan.
Goodbye, everyone.